covered in snow right now.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another video, Hideaway Homestead Ranch. And in this video, we are going to be making more garden beds. We started some a few months back, and I was just kind of coming up with a process to work with these quarter round lumber that we picked up, and we came up with a cage system right here to protect the plants inside. So this one is obviously really large. It's sitting 5 feet on top of the garden bed, and we plan to put tomatoes and other taller viney crops inside of here. So that's why this one is so large. And then we have another one right there, obviously not built out yet. But in this video, I'm going to be making more of the bases, the lower part of it. And these ones are 4 feet by 8 feet. That one's the same. And then we're going to do a 6 by 4 and then a 4 by 4. So we're going to put a 6-foot bed right here, and then a 4 foot, and then same on that side, another 6 and then a 4 foot. Hopefully we picked up enough lumber to build out at least the bottom halves. Again, I ended up, I guess, milling out the frames for this, and I just cut 2 by 2 material out of this quarter round material right there. And I first ripped it with the chainsaw, then I kind of squared it up on the table saw, and then finished it off in the planer, in the wood planer, just to make everything nice and square. And I apologize, I didn't film any of this. We had family in town one weekend when I was working on this, and I wasn't quite sure how it was going to turn out. And then I just kind of got to work, and next thing you know, I'm busting out panels. It's not complete yet, it's not done. This is the door, so you can get inside. I just obviously tied it up because it's been really windy. And then I still need to make like a roof, I guess, so no birds or anything can get inside. We obviously still need soil. We have no soil yet. We just threw a bunch of sticks in there. So it's still a work in progress, I guess you could say. But I want to finish, I want to start making the lower halves. So yeah, today I'm going to focus on the 4 by 6 bed right there. So all of this is still from the first load that I got. I think it was like 2 months ago, month and a half ago. All of this stuff from the first pile. So still a decent amount of lumber. And then we just picked this up was it yesterday? Day before yesterday. So more just quarter rounds. It's a lot thinner than the first load we got, so I'm not quite sure how much I'll get out of it, but yeah, we're gonna see. So I'm gonna get set up, get some tools ready, get some things ready, and then I'll show you I guess the steps and what I do to turn these quarter rounds into a garden bed. So let's get to it. All right, so I just pulled over one slab, okay, and you can see this one already has 1, kind of straight edge right here, where this one's still all, you know, natural and wavy. So I'm gonna try to go for the thickest portion of the slab. So as it gets over here, it starts to thin out. I mean, it's still, you know, kind of chunky, I guess, but I definitely want it to be as thick as possible. I'm aiming for, you know, around, I don't know, 1.5 to 2 inches, something like that. And I'm going for a 4x6 garden bed. So I'm gonna measure out a little longer than 6 feet, and then cut it and figure out, you know, out of here, out of this big length, I don't even know how long this is, probably 10 or 12 feet, out of this 10 or 12 foot length, what 6 foot section I want. So I may, you know, start it right here and then measure 6 feet, cut it or whatever. So I'm gonna figure that out and cut it to roughly, I think maybe a 10-inch board. I had also made these little template boards right here. They're just scrap pieces of plywood, but this one I cut to, you can kind of see the writing, but it's 10 inches by 12 inches, 8 by 12, and a 6 by 12. And what I use these for is to kind of just square it up. So I'm going to go for this 10 by 10, and I'm going to butt my template, or my shadow, up to this flat edge. Then I can easily mark 10 inches and just bring that all the way down. And that's my cut line. And then my dad let me borrow this corded circular saw, where I was cutting this 2 ways, one with my battery operated cordless saw, and the other one was with my chainsaw. So if I could use that, that'll be nice. Okay, so let me figure it out, make some marks, take some measurements, and then show you what I come up with. Okay, so you can kind of see my line. I just drew with a pencil. I went about 6 inches over 6 foot mark, so I have some room to trim it and get it to my exact size. And then I scribed out another 10-inch width, and then I put my 10-inch template. I usually start with the most narrow end of the board, kind of get an idea of where the line is, and then I just use a 2x4 to draw a straight line, kind of a straight line. So I'm going to cut it in half here first, and then try to make my end cuts, and then just keep doing this process until I can essentially build something like this. So this is, I call it a side wall, you know, but just 2 pieces, you know, butted together, and then I screw them together. And I don't even know how long this one is. Let's see, 16 inches. So I did two 8-inch cuts. So yeah, that's just all I'm doing right now. So I'm gonna try to just power through some of these, and as I build enough of them, I start building sidewalls. So I'll need 4 of them like this, and then 4 4-foot sides. It'll give me 2 garden beds. It's all right. Let me get cutting. See how this saw works. so I'm starting to make my sidewalls now. I have all my parts. So this is going to be a 4-foot section. There's the other 2 pieces, and then there's 4 6-foot pieces right here. So what I just did is I got my square and I squared up one edge, right? And now I'm going to measure my 4 feet exactly, which I already know I'm longer, so I purposely cut my boards long. There's the 48 inches upside down. So I'll square it up on my 4-foot mark, rip it, and then yeah. And I just got some, I don't know, some thin scrap wood, and then I used a screw right here and then a nail right here, just so the board doesn't want to shimmy. And then yeah, this is one section put together. So I'm gonna just keep hammering out some sidewalls, and then I'll start putting them together. All right, I'm over here by the other garden beds, and I have my 4 walls. This one's going to be 20 inches tall because I cut them 10 inches wide. This one's only 12 inches, and I believe that one over there is 16 inches. And I just try to get the most out of these 1/4 round planks. Some of them kind of slim and narrow, so I cut them to only 6 inches, like that one. That one's 2 8 inches. This one's 2 10s. So then I just cut some scrap wood. This is kind of like a 4x4, and I'm going to screw them into the corners like so, and then put this one and screw it into this side right here. You'll see, I'll explain it a little bit more as I start assembling this. I have this crazy cactus right here that we need to move. It's right in our garden area, but that's all right. I'll watch out for it for now. Okay, I'm gonna start assembling this. All right, here is a 4x6 raised garden bed. So we built one a lot taller so that we can have root style crops growing there, like carrots, onions, potatoes, things like that that grow down and deep and need a lot more soil depth, opposed to something like this. We're going to take a lot of these sticks out. We put a little too much in there, but something shallow like this, we could do lettuce. It doesn't need to go deep. That one over here, again, we built a large cage because we plan on doing like tomatoes and things that will grow up a vine real tall. So we'll probably do 2 of these, the large cages, and then I'm thinking about doing like an A-frame style, you know, maybe, I don't know, 8 or 10 inches of a little sidewall, and then go up to like an A-frame, and then have some kind of lifting lid or something like that. I'm not quite sure yet what I'm gonna do. So I need to build another one of these. Not as tall though. We're just doing variety right now because we're not quite sure how things are going to work out. You know, it's still our first year trying to grow something out here, and we're not 100% sure what will work well and whatnot. So, but yeah, so far so good. I'm gonna take a lunch break and then start cutting out more parts. Okay, got another 4x6 garden bed done. This one is only 16. All right, so day 2 working on the garden beds, and today I'm just going to work on processing a bunch of 2x2 material so that I could build the frames for the cages. And so I just got done doing one cut, and I just swapped out my table saw blade for a new blade. And so I'm using, again, just the same 1/4 round, you know, scrap material more or less, and I'm cutting it down to 2 inches. So I've just got a little longer than 2, you know, like 2 1/8, something like that. And then I'll be ripping it down, getting rid of the live edge, getting as close to 2 inches as possible, and then I may end up uncovering the wood planer and getting a true 2x2. Not extremely necessary, but I may just end up doing that. I don't know yet. So what I was doing before to get the 2x2 was I was ripping it with a chainsaw to get close to my 2 inches. Then I would do the table saw, then the wood planer. So now I'm trying to skip the chainsaw process and just use the table saw. So when I'm looking for these 1/4 rounds, I'm looking for ones that already have a straight edge, a squared edge on it. So, you know, like this one, you know, this was already cut at the mill, where this side, it's just natural, you know, which I can't ride that on my fence. I'll get a wobbly cut. But this one's not thick enough, see? It's only like, what is that, an inch and a 1/4 maybe? So I need something at least 2 inches thick, you know, kind of like this one. It's a nice thick one. I can probably get a couple pieces out of that one. But that's more or less what I'm just going to be doing today. Nothing extremely exciting. I just need to make this 2x2 material, and I'm trying to get the most out of this 1/4 round material. So yeah, I'm gonna set up the tripod, and I'll film a little bit of me doing this, but it's, you know, it's pretty straightforward and it's very boring to watch. So I'll just do a little bit and just show you what I come up with. All right, let's do it. Okay, so I found a board that has one nice squared edge, but it's like, you know, over 10 feet long, and I need to process 6-footers and 4-footers because I just built a 4x6 garden bed. So I'm gonna cut this right. I measured out, which is a little longer than 6 feet, you know, that direction, and a little longer than 4 feet that direction, just so when I'm ripping it through the table saw, it's a little easier to manage a 6-foot board opposed to a 11, 10-foot board, whatever. So just real quick showing what I'm doing. So here's a little A-frame design we were kind of thinking. So I just kind of got one mocked up just to kind of get an idea of size and things like that. So our idea with this style, we're calling it the A-frame style. Obviously I'll build another one, put it on the other side, and then on this angled part, I'll eventually build, you know, like some kind of a door that latches up so you can, you know, get inside and, you know, tend to whatever's growing inside. Just like, you know, this big one right here, I just made some doors, you know. Again, this is a different setup, you know, for tall growing plants. This one is going to be a little different. I'm wondering if this height right here is a little too tall. So I'm envisioning off this corner, I'll do another one going all the way, touching this side. And then, you know, you lift it up, boom. And now you've got to kind of bend over, you know, whatever will be right here, which is this little leg right here is 12 inches, you know. So I don't know if that's gonna be too much or not, or it might end up being perfect. I think I need to ask the boss, Ashley, what she thinks before I start cutting up more material. And you can see I used all the, just the live edge, random cuts, and I'm facing them on the inside, so when you look at it from the outside, at least it looks flat, except for this one. But you know, I don't really care. It's kind of cool. It'll match the live edge external pieces. But yeah, let's see. I got to get Ashley out here. She's working, so I got to catch her on a break and see what she thinks. I'm thinking I might drop this down. maybe just do 10 inches. But we'll see. And this is the shorter bed. Well, this one's 16 inches tall, the sidewall. Where this one over here, so this one's only 12 inches, but then this one's 20 inches. This one's really big. And again, we did a deep one for you know, maybe like carrots or potatoes, onions, things that grow down into the soil. So I know this one, I think we're going to do another A-frame on this one as well. And the height for sure will be a lot smaller. I'm probably only thinking 6 inches for this one. But I want to build one complete first. That way, like, what is she doing? There's always like lizards and stuff going inside here, so she's like trying to get them. But yeah, I think putting this to 10 inches would be okay, but I'm gonna double check with Ashley, make sure she likes it.